gas station. Like,
yeah,
they were like a penny. So I did an epic battle with my AT-AT and blew it up with an M80 in my backyard.
that is awesome, but also rip
so
to that
good
thing.
Rip.
Because if you sold it now, you could retire. You know.
Oh, I know. I wish I still had it now, but it's pieces.
I had the bounty hunter Princess Leia, and she went on an exploration down the toilet.
Oh no!
Do you know how much I kick myself thinking of that now?
Yeah, those original figures are just all that stuff is just worth stupid money now.
Yeah.
My cousin has like a lot of that shit still in box. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he collects a lot of Star Wars figures, since they're all over his wall, or at least they were when I last saw them.
I think one of the most valuable ones is actually
he had the wife and kid now. That's back when he was single.
All right. Well, we will reminisce about our collections and about how I used to have like all the original metal die-cast Transformers, and I don't anymore.
Oh, I had those too.
Oh my gosh!
No.
If I had those still,
even
all the Dinobots, all the metal Dinobots.
The big space shuttle set too. That was Magnus Prime. That was anyway.
I didn't have cool toys like that when I was a kid.
So let's go from
my brothers, not me.
Let's go from one regretful dystopia to another here. This one at least is the one that we're making up and not imposed on us by our own life decisions of playing rough with our toys and or the like. So where we
not having Transformers when I wanted one.
Oh, those were the days. Rosewolf presents for that'd be cool. I mean, I don't. The presents I get anymore for Christmas or birthday is like socks and underwear, which is cool because like it's I'm at the stage of life where I'm like, socks and underwear. Heck yeah, I can use those.
If you get a good brand, that is cream.
Absolutely, I very much recommend it to you all. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I can give you all some great recommendations. All right, well, we are going to pick up now with our cleanup that is going to be a little bit necessary here because the front of house is now getting very messy because everyone who survived the lobby attack or incident or whatever you want to call it spilled out into the protesters outside of this unplugged punk concert, and apparently now there's a lot of the protesters that aren't looking so good. Then we go to the back of house, and we'll pick up here because we have Zeke, who drew is it a heavy pistol, a very heavy pistol? Like is this like the Joker's? Is this his Joker's 6-shot that he pulls out of his pants? It's like 4 feet long and
in that smoke wagon.
No. I didn't get that implant.
Okay.
Too much humanity loss for what you get.
But you did pull a weapon from a hidden compartment, and it's not pointed at the protesters coming around the corner when she comes.
No, not directly, but it's
ready.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's visible. Imposing.
It is a heavy pistol, but it is poor quality.
And and Benji here has a detached table leg from inside the green room and is holding it. It's down, but it's at the ready. It would make for a very dramatic.
Weapon, but it's probably poor quality.
But if it comes to it, it's not like these are like armored, military people. They're.
It's not like we're gonna stick around forever.
Well, that might be it too. So, Ramone has already started to run. Ramone, where are you running to? Do you want to make it to the van? Are you trying to just get somewhere that's not here?
Yeah, her end goal is yes, get to the van because that's where her gun is.
Okay.
and her knife. But if she can, like, along the way, she spots it, like somewhere she can duck out of sight and wait till her pass. Because I don't think this is her first rodeo with getting away from protesters.
Probably not, especially you're rank 5 now, and while you get to do a bunch of cool stuff with your followers, that also means you get to have all the haters too that come along with it.
Well, as I said earlier, if they don't hate you, you ain't doing it right.
Yeah. All right. So your followers have scattered at your command here. You had 5 of them. We'll say that one of them here is going to stand in defense, and the others are going to just sort of scatter around and run away. So Ramone, you're off here. You're effectively off the map. Now let's come back to Benji and Zeke, as well as I guess dual wielding half orc with a fantastic green cape, and but hey, you know what? That could very well just be someone here. So
someone got some body sculpting.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the president of the roleplay club of the university, so he's got the orc aesthetic.
That'd be awkward.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he goes to your club because he doesn't want the technology. He wants like the magic and the fantasy and all.
The rift is open. The fantasy is crossed over into the sci-fi.
Hey, you're getting your sci-fi in my fantasy.
So the 3 of you are here. You're having a showdown at the trashy back alley, and if any of you can hollow project a tumbleweed or something, I suppose you could do so in this moment as well. It was half a dozen coming around, and it turned into a little bit more than a dozen. However, a couple of them, as the mob is moving forward and begins to run after Ramone, a couple of them that were in the back stop, and they haven't quite rounded the corner, but they're at the end of the building, looking back over their shoulders, like something has happened or something's going on. Though this may not bring a lot of comfort to the 3 of you here, as there's 11 other people who are running. Some of them are more in black block. They might have some kind of armor built into it, like maybe light armor jack or some Kevlar or something. No one's in full, right, because they wouldn't be allowed to be walking around overtly like that on campus. Now, of course, there's always subdermal plates, or you can get Wolverine claws, which are actually called Wolvers, I believe. So there's all kinds of there's stuff that could happen, but for the most part, these look like just protesters here looking to stir up a scene. And you have 11 people who are running not at you, but if you're going to try and interpose yourself, then I guess they're maybe running through you. None of them have guns at the ready. A couple of them have signs, which could possibly count as like a baseball bat if they're going to bonk you with them, or they might know martial arts or something, or again have like a hidden weapon. Though, what would the 2? I mean, give me a suggestion for the NPC, but so what would the 3 of you like to do as these protesters are rushing to try and catch up with Ramone?
So this NPC, this is one of Ramone's fans, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A very devout fan.
Gonna have to send them some albums or something as a thank you.
Weirdo groupies.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was just trying to posture. Like I'm not exactly T-posing. It's more of like A posing.
Okay.
Because of my stance, I guess.
Right.
But just I want to interpose, and if somebody tries to, like, if they look like they're just going to ignore me and run past, I'll just fire a warning shot.
Sure. Benji, Zeke next to you kind of tenses up, gets that pose going. Do you want to say or do anything? A skill? You could try initiating a face down.
What could I potentially do?
And I'm also going to try to. I mean, the NPC is unarmed, right?
Some of them have signs that could
NPC,
bludgeon, but yours has nothing that's obvious, but he's kind of standing in solidarity with you as wanting to baffle the oncoming mob.
Okay. Well, I'll just look over to him and say, "You ain't planning to cut and run, are you?" Or her, I don't know which.
No, I'm Ramone's biggest fan, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna stay right here.
Do that. I'm unimpressed, but I'm gonna try not to show it too much.
Yeah, he's nervous. He's trying not to show it too much, so it's kind of bleeding through. So,
for what I'm gonna do is I'm going to call out to the protesters and say, "Back the fuck off."
Okay.
So, what skill would that be?
Well, if we're doing this as kind of a contested thing,
kind of with the table like kind of like against my shoulder, like I'm posturing. Like I want to intimidate, but intimidate is not a skill.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that we can
consider it a face down, maybe.
Yeah, I think that might end up being the best way forward for this. I mean, persuasion, they're not really in the position to be persuaded. They don't know you, you don't know them. You're getting in the way of something that they have a fervent desire to acquire in some way.
Yeah.
So I believe that because unless you're like I don't know, you had some other things that would act, or that you're trying to or somehow to try and persuade, but this is not going to be I think we're going to go into a face off here. So you don't have any particular reputation here on campus or in this club, so this is going to simply be cool plus D10 plus any luck you want to spend, or if you want to go into the reward pool, you are floating 1, and there's a non-specific one. Now, also, Zeke is floating 1, and Zeke, as a part of this standoff, if you want to provide your 1 that you're floating into this as well, you may, because you're a part of this. This
yes,
face
absolutely,
down.
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely, I do.
We're gonna mark
Before
that.
I forget about it.
Yes, because it'll fall off for next week. I only float those for 2.
Yeah.
Benji, do you want to use 1 or no?
So, question.
Yeah.
Since I'm kind of dressed like I'm a nomad,
Okay.
does that play into this?
Uh,
Because what I'm wearing is nomad leathers for my jacket and for my pants. So I'm almost thinking a wardrobe and style might be effective at this. That's my role.
okay, okay, don't mess with me, because I might probably have nomad family or something that could you rough me up and I'll come for you.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Let's have Benji and Zeke both roll wardrobe and style. I mean, if you don't want to, if you don't want to try and aid, I guess with that in particular, because I don't know how up to that you are, Zeke.
I'm not helpless at wardrobe.
Okay.
So what is that? That's cool. Plus my wardrobe skill plus 2 because I have the tech wardrobe bonus.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
I also have that same. I have a plus 9.
D10 plus 12 then total.
Ooh, nice.
I have plus 2 in wardrobe.
Boy.
Because I'm 8, I'm 8 cool, and plus 2, right?
Very cool, man. Yep.
So D10 plus 4.
And then I roll mine as well.
Okay.
I rolled the wrong thing. It's D10 plus 12, and I rolled it plus 4.
Oh.
So it should be...
All right.
Eight more.
21.
Should be 21.
All right.
My cool momentarily dropped to 0, but then it came back up because I remembered I was cool. That's how cool I was.
Although you're technically you're technically at a -2 because you're brain injury.
That's right. So it's
I mean, 19 is still pretty good here. Okay. So the two of you pop your collars, you flex. I will give this face down Benji an additional +1 from each of you. So we have Zeke using 1. Each of you are providing another 1. This is cool plus D10 plus 3, unless you want to use any luck as the one instigating the face down, or you want to redeem a +1 from a fickle god's favor.
So it's 1d10 plus my cool, which is +7. And then you said +3 for additional modifiers.
Yes.
And I think I will spend 3 luck on that, so I'll add another 3.
Ooh, all right then. 22.
Nice.
I mean, it is possible with a crit, but it is highly, it is highly unlikely here. Yep. All right. Well, the gang here, despite having, I mean, themselves and this motivation, I mean, it's the two of you, but you know what? This third guy is going to count himself in on this too. The three of you standing there. You know, there's a convenient breeze that's blowing the black trench coat of Zeke, as he's, you know, he color shifted and everything. Benji, you got the pose, and so the three of you here, really, you stop them in their tracks. And you know, or maybe Benji, if you're flashing the colors, you got the logo on your back. So instead of even facing them like a "come at me, bro," you do that kind of like a, I don't know, it's the dramatic like video game cover, like a Yakuza cover, where you turn around and you're like looking over your shoulder. Your nomad colors are on the back of your jacket. You know, you still got the pipe holding down at the end there. And then so Zeke is facing him head on with the convenient breeze, you know, ruffling his hat and his trench coat. You turn your back to him, holding the pipe or the whatever, and yeah. There we go. That's it, everyone.
Just watch that in chat.
And the gang stops and is just whoa. Now they're starting to back off. Do you want to say or do anything? You have them beat, and you've expressed that you are willing to bonk or pew pew at them, and they're not quite ready to put their lives on the line for protesting a punk rocker here. So what do you want to say or do, as it looks like they're backing up?
Just kind of force them to keep backing up by kind of continuing that, walking forward.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're getting them to okay. They're
starting to back off. I'm pressuring them to back off even more.
Okay. Well, actually, I should presume, Zeke, are you're standing?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm in solidarity with whatever Benji's doing.
You're his Huckleberry?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
No, he's my Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. All right. So
draw that.
That actually is a yeah. It's like the two badass cyberpunks, and then like the leader of the roleplay club at college. You know, it's like there you go, everyone. That's a moment up here. All right, so you're backing them off, Ramone. This is giving you plenty of time to run, and we are going to as this happens, I'm going to consider you're getting the protesters to back off, go back around the corner. We're going to cut back to the front here, as we have Rock, who is still inside. You kind of it's not exactly like jumping on the grenade kind of a thing, but you got your friend, so to speak, like to come back with you, and you're like, I know what's going to happen, and you cover yourself because this is weird and you don't exactly know how it works, but you knew what was going to happen. It's currently happening outside the front doors of the club, and it sounds like people are in agony. There's you hear some like twists of like servos and things going wild among the protesters. What are you doing in this moment now? Now I will make a point. The people from the lobby are running through the protesters who are collapsing and bleeding. The people from the lobby do not seem to be re-affected. They're just able to burst through, and as soon as they did, it's super easy to push through these people because they're falling over and dying or kind of microwaving themselves from the inside. But it seems like anyone who's already limping and hurt or whatever from the club is not... They're not getting a second dose, right? So you have the people from the club barreling through the protesters, but whatever's going on is rippling through the protesters that were on the outside of the club.
Would it be like just based on my inherent like investigatory skills or something? I feel like maybe there's something it started on the inside, and then as a certain amount of people moved to the front lobby, then it started in the lobby, and then as it moved closer to the front, going to the outside, it started outside. That something or someone in this initial crowd of people may be causing this to happen to people as they get within range of them.
Sure, let's go with a we can do so criminology could work. That's the skill of discovering clues. Now it says stuff like dusting for fingerprints or ballistic tests, but this is also examining evidence, searching through files, which could be maybe something you've encountered before as a mental file. Or we could do a no, we wouldn't really need tracking. That it's been pretty easy to follow where everyone's gone so far. So I will accept a criminology or a depending. I don't know if you know any sciences, but a particular science might end up working. Tactics would not work here. There's nothing really tactical about what's happening. Interrogation, you're not really interrogating right now. Human perception, I don't think is going to give you anything here.
To go along with the criminology type,
yeah.
Is the cyber enhanced lady just long gone now, or can I see her now or not?
Tell you what, make another perception as the crowd is going through. Maybe people are shifting, or you might be able to catch a glimpse of her. 10, unfortunately, no. You're not able to see her. The two crowds now are mixing, and so you don't have eyes on her as she's supposedly barreling through.
Okay. I guess I'll do criminology for the other check there to what I asked you about.
Sure.
Sorry, I got the hiccups.
That's fine.
I don't know why.
Whoa, nice. Okay. So, with your 19 here, we have kind of a slow time as we have the scene from Sherlock Holmes here where you're going over the fight and you're going to discombobulate. You're scanning around with your just inherent, remaining human senses through your cyberware. You're piecing things together. How people move, how things happen. You've been on the beat enough where you've seen. You might see a new street drug like tear through a community, and because there's like a particular hustler or a dealer or something that has just infiltrated, some families or a complex and has gotten a bunch of people hooked on something, or you've seen some things similar to this in your days. Now, nothing like this, but this has a similar pattern where, yeah, you're pretty, like, you are convinced that there's some kind of like an infectious agent. There's some kind of a spreader, a dealer, however you as Rocket would call this type of a person. And it had to have started with someone who was inside the actual dance space. Because no one in the lobby was affected until the dance space filled the lobby. Then no one outside was affected until the people from the dance in the lobby spilled out. And in both those breakthrough cases of people exploding, no one re-exploded. So it seemed to, it's like it'd be like a 24-hour bug, right? You catch it, you shit your brains out for a day, and then you're cool. This is like a 24-hour bug, although maybe not 24 hours. This is seemingly, by the pattern, you get it and it tears through you, and you don't seem to get it again. At least not in the short amount of time that it's been. So there's some sort of a carrier or a dealer, someone that's moving with this pack. Now, what that is also going to tell you, because you did pretty well in criminology, is if this leaves, this has already breached the club. Whoever, hopefully it's only one carrier or dealer or whatever. If this gets out, even though this might only affect people one time, this is not going to be good. For a lot of people. And this is that really nice abuela who cooks food from your apartment that I talked about in our last session. You think back and you're like, oh, bless her, she's still around because she has like a pacemaker, or she has some therapeutic tech. It's not like grandma has, like 2 cyber arms and is like lifting semi-trucks in her retirement for spare income or something. But especially because, you have been around people, and it's not, will this absolutely like rip through the booster gangs and people who make other people's lives terrible? Yes. This would destroy them, most likely. This is also going to do things probably like kill that grandmother, who has some pretty basic tech to keep her going, if whatever this is gets out. Now,
with that,
go ahead.
With that criminology, as I'm kind of doing this, piecing this all together at the same time, would I be able to notice any people of interest? I mean, obviously, the one chick was a person of interest, but she's gone now. There's not much I can do to control this crowd because they're just running off. Would I detect any people of interest that are involved in crime, like flying colors, or somebody that I would initially be drawn to as like, okay, this is a place to start because they're already involved in, with my knowledge, crime, like crime related things to my knowledge.
Yeah, tell you what, we're going to treat this as a separate criminology role because it's for a different subject matter than investigating the crime scene and putting those clues together. Wow. All right. So this is, maybe it's a bit of a double-edged sword because this sort of stuff has been wearing on you, right? That's why you went to part-time police. You're taking up side gigs. You've seen some pretty fucked up shit in your time on the streets, but your mind, unfortunately, just seems to, it works. You're able to understand this stuff even though you don't maybe like to or want to. I won't put words in your mouth as Rock. Maybe you actually dig this, but or just something that there's an irony where like, wow, it takes everyone exploding and like this is your element, unfortunately.
No, that makes sense.
So yeah, for those of you who can't see, by the way, we hide our chat to protect you all. But that means you can't see the rolls. Rock got a crit here with a 24 on criminology. So yeah, in this moment, right as time is going super slowly, people are still pouring out, and you're turning over. You have so many different gang signs and gang colors that you've memorized from your time on the force, and even your part-time stuff, just like keeping beat on your block to keep things like as safe as possible. And just like it's a slideshow as you're trying to match the different colors, the different patches, the different the different things that you have seen. The people in Black Block could very well be their own group. The people holding particular signs, they probably have a group symbol too. And now that you're thinking about it, you're like, I've had this woman, and your brain keeps coming back to her, and you don't know who she is, but from thinking about it and you're just seeing this happen, for sure she, like, you had a suspicion. You're like, no, there was something that she had as you're breaking down the scenes from your own mind. And you don't even have to brain dance for this either. You get to do this naturally yourself. And you're like, no, this is a booster gang that I know. Now, for Kitty Bird, do you have a gang name in mind that Sharp belongs to?
Chrome shards.
The chrome.
Just off the top of my head.
The chrome shards.
The chrome shards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
just off the top of my head.
So, all right, to you then, Rock. From just the way that everything was handled, you're pretty certain that this person belongs to the Chrome Shards, and what you know about them, like you got a pretty good score here, so I'm gonna give you the goods. This is a gang that it's not just a booster gang where it's a bunch of people who just keep kitting each other out and plundering parts off of each other in gang wars and stuff. These are people who, they're not a corporate sponsored gang, but man, do they, as a gang, they have all of the latest tech. Like they're not secondhand. They're not always scavenging parts for themselves off of other people. This gang always seems to have the latest chrome, and just are while no one likes them, it's not like they're a representative of anything but themselves, but they always seem to be just like ahead of trends, like just barely ahead of things that are happening. Like they are the cutting, bleeding edge kind of a gang, where they'll push their tech with things that you're like, you know what? My buddies at the range even talked about, like, have you heard of anything? Anything strange going on? You're probably hearing things, or maybe have you seen things? We've heard and seen things, but we're wondering about you. There's definitely something happening that with these little flashbacks and them asking you, like, they invited you specifically over, and the pretense was good. Like, they're your friends. They wanted to get you a job. They wanted to see you again. Not like you left on bad terms necessarily with them. I mean, probably that one guy. Yeah, fuck that one guy. But the rest of them are pretty cool. There's always the one guy.
There's always that one guy.
Gary.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And if you don't know who that guy is, then you're the guy.
But they did pull a prank on you. I mean, it was kind of an obvious one, no real damage done, but they wanted to try and break the ice. But besides just, the cut and dry, wanting to see how you're shooting and, extend this offer, they did ask those really specific questions. And now that you have this gang in mind, this is, while you did get the crit, this is, I'm going to leave this as more open-ended. A point can be a random thing, two things that happen could be a coincidence. I wonder if there's a third point that could make a line, point, like directly pointing to something. But you have a second point to ponder, whether this is coincidence, a very strong coincidence or not. But this is, there's a lot that is grating against your detective instincts and what's happening.
So, with all of that being said, I don't notice anybody else that's around that's possibly sporting signs of this gang. Just the Sharp, the character that's gone now.
Yeah, that was the only person that definitely not the only person that had Chrome, but the only person who carried themselves with that kind of confidence, with that I don't know necessarily the word for it aside from a confidence, but this is who I am, and fuck anyone who doesn't like it, because I don't care.
Swagger.
Yeah, it's a swagger. It is just that, it is that thing. So,
all right. So at this point, then I guess after pondering all that, I still have my primary responsibility here was basically Ramone.
Okay.
So I want to kind of snap back into it and maybe, because there's nothing I can do to really control what's going on. Like, I know that this is a bad thing, and if it's out, it's out. But so many people have already run and kind of spread that there's not really a whole lot I can do about it right now. So I'm going to does this guy that I've been kind of building rapport with, does he have a name?
He hasn't introduced himself because all you've done is pulled him aside for questions, but you can ask him. Yeah.
I'll just be like, hey, I know this is kind of crazy. By the way, my name's Rock. Didn't get your name.
So Fluffy Sheep as Zeke, this is your, there's always that one guy to you, right? He is.
Yes.
And what is your that guy's name?
I don't know. You made him up.
I did, but I just called him Fixer. So.
Well, I'm the Fixer.
You are. I know. Do you have that? Do you have a Tess in your life that you don't like and you want to name this this antagonist, or?
You caught me by surprise. I didn't think it was my job to name him. Let's call him, I'm going to call him Ian. His name is Ian.
Ian. All right. So yeah, he says, yeah, my name is
Ian's.
My name's Ian.
All right, Ian. Not the best circumstances to meet, but I'm going to tell you what, I need to head back in and see if I can locate the person that I was hired to kind of keep an eye on. There's other questions that I'd like to ask you possibly that you might have knowledge about, so you're more than welcome to kind of hang out with me or go on your way. I'm going to leave that up to you.
No, I'll stick close to you.
All right, cool. So I want to maybe go back in the club and kind of backtrack through the club to see if I can catch up with Ramone, or obviously I wouldn't know what they've been doing because I've been out here.
Right.
Maybe ask around going through is like, hey, did you see which way this person went? I need to make contact with them.
Something that might occur to you while you alone as a guy on temp security may not be able to contain anything. you got your 2 friends who are incoming, who are a part of the squad. You might be able to tell them, like, hey, can you get this place locked down? We can't have anyone leave. That's a possibility.
So are they here yet?
No. They're still incoming, but you might be able to call them and be like, new shit's come to light. You gotta lock this place down. Because there's been no... Right, this only just happened at one club on campus. There's no way that anyone outside has become aware of this yet.
Okay. So just kind of contain what I can, even though people have already beat feet, I just contain as much as I can here. So yeah, I could do that, like call them, but like, listen, I've got to attend to other things, but when you guys get on the scene, I need you to kind of contain this place as best possible, lock it down as best you can.
You will, I'm guaranteeing success. I want to see how successful. Roll a persuasion with this as well, and we'll see if there's any other little extra fun bits that are going to come with this.
Let me find it here. Is that under social?
I believe so.
Yeah, there it is.
Whew. Well, a lot of green tonight. Okay. I should rename this. This is the Heroes in Green. We started out as red, though.
10 nat ones incoming.
Yeah. You're piling them up for this last session we're going to have next week.
Maybe I'll roll good
Rock,
for one.
You're the only one with like all of the guns and armor. We need you. Sorry. All right, that's a 26. All right, so you explain to them about like what's going on. It is succinct, it's lucid. Like you are speaking the language, like you are back on the force. You're using all the jargon and you're using the codes and everything, right? It like you have slipped back into this mindset. And the way that you conveyed yourself, it certainly convinces them, but you've convinced them to the point here that after just another minute or so of passing, the entire campus, like they called in whatever emergency code that the police have here. And you have started this chain reaction that everything, like, it's not just, oh, well, here's an open gate, that people can pass through at a checkpoint. We're talking the drawbridge is coming up, the portcullises are going down, and this monastery of learning is going into like full shutdown mode. The kids in the dorms are probably getting like locked in and shut in because this place was made to contain, ganger activity and all sorts of other stuff. So you did really well, and hopefully hopefully this is going to better contain anything else, as the whole place is going into whatever like maximum threat level sort of stuff. So everything on campus is shutting down. That being said, we're going to cut back over. And Ramone, I think we'll catch up with you in a moment. Here, we have the 3 of you have managed to push back the protesters here. And as you have, and you round the corner, you can see that there's a couple people walking from what would be like from the front corner of the building around. Well, the building extends beyond just this, but let's pretend that that's the outside wall. They're some are walking, they're limping. Like one of them seems to be leaving a blood trail against the outside of the building, and other people begin fleeing and limping as you can look down from the corner of the building here and see that that the protesters you were chasing are running towards a bunch of people who are dressed as other protesters, but they look like they have succumbed to whatever happened inside the club.
As in, they look just.
Like, one of them has like a face that's red with bubbly skin that almost seems like it's coming off. Another person is bleeding from where their cyber arm is grafted into their meat and is sort of like limping against the side of the building, leaving a staggering blood trail on the wall.
A lot of them.
Is it from the protesters? Are these from the protesters, or these are from the club people?
Protesters. These are dressed as protesters.
That makes
protesters
sense.
Outside?
I don't know. Let's find one of them. Let's go track one of them down. See if maybe it could be brainwashed. I don't even know. Under some kind of whammy.
Someone has something. And so, yeah, I'm gonna look for one of these limping people, and I want to check them out and see if, like, I can medically deduce what's happening.
Okay. As you're going to approach these injured protesters here, I would like each of you, or both of you, to make a perception.
Perception. Ooh, I'm good at perception.
Remember, you got a -2, though.
Still pretty good at perception.
I'm decent.
All right, we got a 14.
14.
Okay.
That does include my penalty.
Yeah. You both see the same person. Each of you, well, Benji, as you're looking down the side of the building here, and you see that the protesters that you were chasing are going to meet up with the broken ones first, because they had been running ahead of you, right? And they start like trying to pick up the guy, and another person goes over like, oh, what happened? To the one who's been dragging the shoulder against the side, leaving the blood smear here. Benji, there's a crowd also, and this is a mixed crowd. Some are protesters, most of them are people dressed for the club. And there's many of them you recognize more from the dance area of the club. And in particular, you do see your ex running out with this group, running past. So if this is the front here, then the group is kind of breaking off. Well, not this character, but just to make a group of people here. There's a big group from the club running out of the club this way here. You do see your ex in that group, if it matters to you for anything. Now, whether or not she's noticed you, probably not. She's not stopping to look. But you do see her in the crowd. And then Benji, Zeke, you specifically do not see Ian, which, is hopefully good. You're like, oh, maybe he actually died. I don't know. Might get that promotion at work. Or at least I'll have some heat off my tail. So you specifically don't see Ian. Yeah. And so as this group runs past, you do see that the protesters you were chasing off was interacting with those who were already injured or half melted. And once this group ran past, you now see the uninjured protesters start to shake violently. Their cybernetics spasm. Eyes might glow as, the internal cameras and stuff are doing their thing. And this group of about 11 people crumple. Though, the ones that had already been staggering and supporting themselves on the outside of the building are not re-afflicted. and they're kind of like, what's going on? What?
Yep.
Can I assume that this is some kind of some kind of hack or virus?
Yep. Looks like whatever it is, it only happens to each person once. Because I went through it, and now I'm immune, and now they. Well, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the idea that now I'm immune, and maybe they are too. It happens once, and then win or lose, you're through it.
If only we had a netrunner on the team, then maybe. But none of you chose to play a netrunner, so.
But could it? But
Told us we weren't
yeah, I know. Audience, I'm being an
Yeah.
asshole here. It's all me.
Okay.
It's me specifically telling them I don't want a netrunner because that's a whole side thing that I don't want to run on, in a 3-parter. So.
but as a person who is familiar with the technology
Yes.
of implants, can I assume that this is maybe a technical virus, not a biological virus?
Yeah, tell you what, you can roll, well, let's see, you do need surgery, to implant things, so if you wanted to roll either surgery or cybertech, then, or if you have another particular science, like something that you chose that might be more specifically applicable, but
No.
yeah, go ahead and roll some kind of a knowledge that would be related to this. And we'll see. And if you want to use any luck in this, you can too. I'm not giving you a fixed difficulty value, but I'm going to see how high you're getting on this.
I mean, my modifier's plus 19 on surgery, so.
And you only gave me a 22. All right then.
I know.
Which is still that's still pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you are having a similar epiphany to Rock, just from a different set of circumstances. Where you have seen, I mean, it can even be drug use. Like you yourself do not make street drugs, but obviously you're aware of them, and you've also seen trends that have gone through, and let's say that there's someone you get this from your nomad background. You know that there's nomads who will move bad gear. Maybe they're desperate for money. They know that there's defects or something, but they sell it anyway in the night markets. Those fucking fixers. If only someone would just get rid of them, right? Yeah.
They're the ones who give us jobs.
Benji, you've seen bad tech run through just your community before. An import of parts and they're all shitty, or someone will discover, that they actually have like spyware
that's malfunctioning.
Yeah. Or there's like a bad firmware update that was pushed out, and stuff like that has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Or just people being trolls. Like there was the epidemic of the TikTok virus that made everyone dance and act like idiots for a while. Fortunately, that got banned sometime, a couple years ago. But anyway, possibly fourth wall references aside, you've
there are
seen
definitely
this.
hacks out there to shut down somebody's tech, though.
This, however, this isn't someone at a computer. Obviously, it always could be. That's the infinite conspiracy theory. There's always someone at a computer somewhere. But there's nothing that is like, no one has been linked together in an overt way. There's no cables. There's been nothing that has been quite like this in your medical opinion that you've seen. This has all the signs of a bad drug or some bad wear making its way through a community. But this is now like a virus, a biological and a tech. Yeah, it's like it's a contagious, a biologically contagious or something, computer virus, or however you want to break it down.
Not a netrunner, so I don't know the lingo, but it's definitely spreading. And Lord knows that there's hacks out there from net runners who are doing shady things. They'll shut down somebody's tech just because.
Yep.
Well then. Yeah, that's dubious.
Are you saying this out loud so Zeke is in on this too, or is this all internal? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm saying this out loud. Is that it's some kind of hack where each person's, it seems like a hack that somebody's futzing with somebody like tech and shutting people's tech down.
Right. The tech is broken.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Follow them.
I'm not sure if that's what's going to cause somebody to explode and microwave from the inside out, unless they've got some bizarre tech that does that for some reason.
I mean, wouldn't be that many people with that kind of specialized tech. Well, maybe there could be some kind of cult, or maybe
or their
people captured and done without their knowledge. Even could be all kinds of things.
Yeah, and then you have scabs putting in faulty tech into just about anybody.
Still seems awful concentrated. Having everybody show up here. Why would they all be here? Gotta be something they're... If it's not some kind of a brainwashing or some kind of a cult.
This whole show is about being unplugged. I mean, you've got plugs. I've got plugs.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't is that rocker chick.
She'd get off to.
And her crazy weirdo followers.
Hey! Says the third guy.
Hey, I'm not excusing you from this. You are just as guilty as she is, in my opinion, right now.
The NPC just suddenly moves forward into plot space and then back into the shadows.
Yeah.
I'm also in this conversation. Hi.
Are you back? I thought you were still gone.
No, I still got it.
Yeah, Ramone's gonna have a scene in the parking lot here. I promise.
Okay.
Yeah, I worry. I think this is all a stunt. This is all a stunt to try and get publicity for this unplugged bullshit.
So you think she's in on it?
Why wouldn't she? This is exactly her message.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Yeah, you can get hacked because you have cybernetics. Because you're part computer.
She is the only one that wasn't hurt.
Well, besides her lackeys.
Yeah.
Because they follow the same sign of bullshit.
But then why would they why were they chasing her? We faced them down. Trying to protect her.
Well, the protesters are... I don't know. Corpos?
Gotta go track her down.
I have some serious questions for this bitch.
Alright. Does it look like there's anything imminently happening in the area that we're in, or is it just like everybody's passed out now?
Bodies around, people passed out, trying to help each other, first aid, etc. Though, as for anything imminent, that's when you are going to hear the wow, wow, and it sounds like the whole campus has an alarm going off.
It's a lockdown I was worried about. Not surprised.
Yep, I'm not surprised about that.
Does it look like there's anyone who desperately needs Benji's help?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for that person, too.
Oh, you'll find people all night long. If you want to go and administer different aid to people, then...
All right. Benji, we better split up. Do you want me to go? I'll go look for the singer. You 10 people. They need you. I ain't so bad at tracking. I might be able to find her.
Yeah, if you'd And he'll flick you his details for his phone.
Okay. All right.
Call me if you find her.
Will do. And I'll return the favor. All right. So the next thing I would do then would be to head back to the last place where we saw Ramone and start looking for her.
And I'm gonna start administering paramedic on
All right.
people.
So, you're up on the scene. Benji, roll paramedic. And you certainly are capable of doing this. Some people are better off than others, but this is going to be for something else than direct treatment. Okay, very good. While the place is in lockdown, and that might very well mean like for ground vehicles and stuff, all the gates are going to close, etc., etc. And you're more than certain. Oh, hey, there's got to be trauma teams that are going to be making their way here.
Maybe. Lockdown. I'm not so convinced until I actually see trauma vehicles. I'm not going to be convinced.
Airspace could be locked down too. That's true. But I'll leave you with that thought while you're administering aid to the mix of club goers and protesters that are just sort of like collecting themselves and piling up on the outside of the building here. Which by the way,
I need to rewind time just a minute.
Yeah.
Because I probably would want to bring Steve. That's become his name.
Okay.
Probably would want to bring Steve with me, and I'm going to put my gun back in my kidney.
Okay. All right. So
that's where his kidney goes.
So Steve, all right, you can bring Steve as your deputy here, Sheriff. And with Benji actually administering outside here, Rock, you were outside, correct? Yeah, you were outside the front right when you were making the call, right? So not that necessarily Benji, I think, stands out to you. You probably would recognize him, that he was one of the VIPs, since he was allowed to. Actually, so as he was allowed. Well, actually, you're also not covered in guts and blood.
Yeah, I'm not.
But Rock, if you wanted to approach Benji, this is someone who was a VIP in the club, but also looks rather unharmed, but is administering some aid. And we'll have an interaction between you two. Let me get to Ramone, and then we'll cycle back to you if you two wanted to either like talk or just like prepare yourselves for an interaction.
Yeah, he would stand out because he's wearing nomad clothes.
Oh yeah, so especially because you're in that mindset, Rock. As he's like crouching to help someone, you would probably recognize. At least the nomad family, or at least that these are like, this is a nomad you're dealing with. Any personal details about the fate of Benji's family, I don't know. You two can hash that out if you know it or you don't know it. That's up to you two. But yeah, that would probably be another. As you're looking for suspicious people, well, here's an unaffected nomad question mark. All right, so Steve and Zeke are making their way back to the dumpster alley here, and Steve confides in you that he has no idea what's going on, but this is really fascinating. I could probably run this as an adventure in the club if I survive.
Bless your heart. Yeah. So, what do you know about her? Where do you think? Do you know where she would run to? A place like this? Does she have a apartment nearby, or some kind of I don't know, some kind of a stash or a friend she'd run to?
I don't know where she lives. She's not too public about that. Probably for good measure, because you know, people can get kind of weird. I could only tell you where you could find pictures of her feet. It's I'd have to imagine. I mean, I would want to run back to I'd want to run back to my dorm, but I don't think I could get in. You hear those sirens? They locked down all the buildings on campus, not just the walls. Like that's the big emergency siren, because you're talking to a student here, so he knows the drill. Like there's I mean, obviously there's always a way in or out, but there's really no practical way in or out of the dorms or the other buildings on campus, at least not without someone needing to like blow a hole into the place or like just physically dismantle it.
Yeah,
Which
so what
is
you're saying is she's on the street somewhere.
Yeah, she'll have to be out somewhere, which that also means that, well, we're also gonna have to be out in the open. Well,
That ain't so bad.
I guess I can tell you she doesn't live on campus. It means that she probably, well, she's gotten pretty popular, and you know, I've been analyzing her numbers. She probably can afford a vehicle. She probably has a van or something, right?
Oh, so she don't live in this neighborhood. She lives some other place. I mean,
No.
You're the biggest fan. You ought to know everything about her. You ought to be camping out outside her apartment.
Excuse
that
me. I may know a lot, but I'm not one of those fans.
Oh, all right. You just know about her feet. Gotcha.
No.
All right, so
As someone who appreciates Ramone, I need to know about these things to be able to protect her from the weirdos like Tim in the club. Okay?
all right, I gotcha. Don't worry, we on the same team here.
All right.
I ain't insinuating anything. But if you think, I mean, she had to bring her gear, right, for the concert.
Yeah.
So she'd have to have some kind of a van. All right, bring it in. Well, do you know? Does it have her band name on it? Has it got any markings we can look for?
Yeah. So, the other band members are, by the way, Ramone, your other band members probably either were afflicted or could be dead since they're temps. So sorry, but you'll Zeke, you'll hear that where she doesn't like the band is Shattered Data. She's really the only steady band member. She just keeps picking up other people as a gig. It's kind of made me hope to learn an instrument sometime, but there's other things I'm studying right now. Yeah, her van, it's pretty noticeable. If she's got the logo on, you'll notice it because it's like half of a brain, like being blown out the side of a head, and
Oh yeah, that ain't suspicious at all right now.
so I didn't pick that kitty bird. You did.
I know.
Yeah, if she's got the logo on the van, it's hard to miss. Unfortunately, though, it looks like any other like white service van you're going to see around the city. But this one at least would be a white service van that's not marked with NCU on the side. That's on campus and can't get out.
All right. Well, if we can't find her van, we'll just dig up a bunch of plumbers and pedophiles. All right, let's get.
There we go.
Let's get. Let's get on the move then.
All right, let's beat feet.
I love you guys.
And he says like that. That's just an expression. That's an expression everyone uses. Meanwhile, I'm sorry. Roll a tracking too. Like you have a lot of clues. You're not necessarily going to fail. This is like how soon can you arrive on the scene as you're navigating around campus and maybe picking up some other things along the way too.
So for tracking here, I have gizmos.
Sure.
I've got teleoptics, and I've also got amplified hearing. I don't know if I might be able to hear the sound of the van running. She may not have started it. I don't know. And I've got the teleoptics, which I can use as like a zoom lens. So
if you can stack all of that, because whether or not it helps you get to her, there's other things that you might find along the tracking that you see or hear, depending on what your final number is.
Okay. So my normal perception is, sorry for being awkward about this, but my character sheet never did work. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I normally have plus 13 to perception, and I'll get, I guess, plus 4, but then I'll have minus 2 because I'm still stunned. So I'll
Yes.
have plus 15 plus D10. All right.
Got it.
17. At least I didn't crit fail.
Yeah, it's almost, but making it spicy. Okay, so there's a couple times as you're tracking, you might need to stop because you're getting a headache because there's just like something is disconnected. You gotta give it the old percussive maintenance. You're successfully able to track her, and you will arrive after I have my time with Ramone here in just a moment in the parking lot. But there are some other people who are out and about and look concerned. I mean, this is as you're moving away from this area. So these are probably people who are walking home from, getting a meal at the pizza joint on campus or something like that, and they're locked out of their place, or people who are just caught while out. And while you're also looking and hearing, you're hearing sirens, probably from the campus security, campus police. And they're going to be on their way to the crime scene here. Now, if you want to walk around overtly, or if this is going to have you and Steve want to stealth, I don't know. That's your call. If the police are out, there's a big murder that's happened, a big, like a mass event. What would you like to do? Do you want to walk about overtly, or do you want to sneak?
Steve doesn't look like the sneaky sort of fellow. So if I want to sneak, which I could do, we would probably want to split up, and that might be okay. But I feel a little bit of a responsibility towards him.
Okay.
And I also feel like he could cause trouble if left unattended.
Okay.
I've played in Maddie's games before.
This meta knowledge. By the way, everyone, get to know your DMs, GMs, and STs, because once you understand their proclivities, it makes it a lot more fun to roleplay, and you know what not to fall for.
Exactly.
Given that my weapon is well concealed,
yeah,
right, and we did not do anything wrong,
yeah.
And the lockdown is responsible for us being outside, right? That's
yeah.
when the concert happened, everybody ran out the door.
Yeah.
Then it's all locked down. We're out on the street. That's just what happened, right? So, I don't feel like we need to stealth. I think we have.
Okay.
I think we can operate in the open safely.
Okay.
That's all obviously inside my head. That's
yes.
not being something I'm saying, because you can tell.
Ramone. Hi.
Hello.
Ramone.
Shall I just get a shovel and dig deeper?
I don't know. What are you grabbing from your van, or are you just getting into it and hoping to leave? You make your way to the parking lot. Yeah, maybe you're turned around a little bit here because I don't know if you attended Night City University or not, but it's
university education.
So you make it back to your van. The sirens have already been going off for a little bit. Not like, a little bit's like half an hour. Like they just started not too long ago. By the time that you get to your van, what are you doing here?
Well, she hears the sirens and that she's like, shit, because she was hoping to jump in the van and get away from the protesters and all this crazy. What the heck? She'll probably just throw herself in the van, slam the door closed, and as we established, there's a bed.
Yeah.
A small bed. She actually dives under there.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I can wait this out. Things will calm down. They'll open up campus again, and I can get away from this.
Okay. So
and also,
you're
she would grab her gun from the front seat.
okay. You're equipping yourself with your kniff and your gun.
Yes.
Okay.
Mainly my kniff, because I'm probably better at that than pistols.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you are you're just hunkering down and waiting for this to blow over. Fortunately, campus security had you park. I mean, it was a bitch to haul your gear to the club, but they had you park in an out of the way parking spot because they knew that there was going to be protesters there tonight, just due to the nature of things. So your van isn't tagged or keyed up. I mean, you got the one donut on there, but I mean, that was there before, so it's not like someone did anything to your van.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're waiting for things to blow over here.
She don't have any answers to what happened in the club, and just like hunker down, wait for it to blow over, and then worry.
Gotcha. Campus security knows where you're parked. You know, maybe they'll come check on you or something like that. So yeah, you wait for things to happen here. All right. Well then, that will make things a little bit more succinct. 1 second here. As we have Steve and Zeke. Steve and Zeke, you are making your way. Steve knew where the closest parking lot was, but there's nothing that matched that van. You were able to work with him through, asking some questions that maybe he didn't think about, and you were able to find the parking lot after. It wasn't your first try, right? You did well on tracking. You didn't do super duper good. That it was, hey, bingo, first try.
Well, we rolled perception, not tracking.
Or I'm sorry, yeah. So like you weren't seeing the van there. You find the van a short time later here, and you have seen now a lot of campus activity. And while you were looking around for this parking lot, at some point there actually was an explosion somewhere behind you. Something actually exploded. And it looks like it's somewhere close to the club, but you're far enough away from that, and it's probably behind the club itself, so there's no way even through your telescopic vision that you'd be able to see what was going on. But yeah, you reach the parking lot, and there is a van that most likely is that for Shattered Data, headed by Ramone, especially because it looks like she didn't turn the animated GIF off. So there's a melting face on the on the side of the van here. You also didn't tell me that you locked your doors, so no, they could be locked. You're in a paranoid mode.
No, that's fair enough.
In all honesty, you probably would have turned your signal off too, because that would help keep attention away. But so anyway, we have Zeke and Steve. You have found the van. Whether or not Ramone is here, the van's not on. It's also not a rockin'.
Well, so first thing I'm gonna do is find a way for Steve and I to be on opposite sides of the van. Something like, you look over there and see it, make sure the coast is clear, something like that.
Gotcha. I can do that.
And while he's sufficiently distracted, I'm gonna stick my homing tracer to the van.
Oh, okay.
I have one of those.
Okay, yeah. So, Ramone, roll a perception. versus let's have this be versus Zeke's stealth to see if you notice like a little thump of a magnetic thing or a clank or a scratch, because you're definitely in a paranoid mindset right now.
Right.
Mm.
So I have
Oh,
plus 12, which would normally which would be reduced to 10 because I'm stunned. Right?
Yep.
So D10 plus 10, 14. Unfortunate. Man, I've had terrible dice this game.
Okay, Ramone, you hear like a click or something outside of your van.
And nothing else. Just click. Well, being as she's in paranoid mood, she's gonna like crawl out from under, just try and stay low and like try and peek out like the back window.
Okay,
Like, also try to keep as low as she can.
I want you to roll stealth then also.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Zeke's perception. How the tables have turned.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
How the turn tables.
As I've tabled. Yeah.
I don't suppose
The turntable.
that I would be able to take perception bonus from my hearing here, right?
Yes, you can.
Straight up.
The vision and hearing can both count in this. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not in a place where I can use my cyber eye. I know that.
Okay.
So I'll just roll straight up perception, which is plus 13.
Sure.
I will throw my last luck into this.
Okay.
So here we go.
Oh, a crit fail.
There's the red. We needed a hero in red this session.
Of course it's me. Of course it's my
Ramone, this is not your day.
It wasn't my day last week either. What? Don't worry. It's waiting until the finale. It's
Yep,
waiting until the finale.
We're gonna rename this Ramone's bad big hair day. And
I even messed my wig up to make it look good.
all right, so Zeke, the van starts a rockin'. Now it's not like shaking or something, but while you're there, because Ramone is shifting inside and trying to position herself to look out the back window, it like you can see that it's kind of bouncing a bit and it creaks a little bit as it maybe, I don't know, maybe she slipped on something or like crushed a soda can or something. Like there's something that is indicating that she's at the back of the van now. Or
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
someone is. You don't know it's Ramone, but
Yeah, I don't know it's Ramone, but somebody's in there. Okay. Do I have anything I can hide behind?
there's other cars in the parking lot. I wasn't able to find them quick in the asset search here, but yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so it's not a deserted parking lot. It's actually pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, if she's started moving around, I think it's reasonable for me to conclude that she's either coincidentally about to get out of the van or that she's heard us. So I am going to hide behind one of those other cars, and maybe she'll find Steve.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to like signal Steve to like, hey, go around to the back, kind of a thing?
No, I'm just gonna leave him there, and she'll come out and find him. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not. Whatever. I'll just be at a nice safe distance because I can still see pretty well from far away.
Gotcha. All right then. So yes, we will. We have Ramone, as you have super stealthily, sneakily made your way to the back of your van.
Yeah.
No one has detected you.
No.
I'll use a drone here for that. You see Steve. He's kind of like searching around your van.
Being as this Steve, she kind of okay. It's just then like she kind of opens the door, like the back door a little, and just making sure there's no one else around.
Okay, yeah. You open it up and you look and she's like, "Are you okay?" I don't know why I'm whispering.
The chance follow you.
No, I didn't have anyone follow me. In fact, I was following someone else.
Wait, you... Who were you following?
The guy with the cool cowboy hat.
Okay. Weirdo number 1, right, okay. She doesn't know your name.
Yeah.
I know, but, like, in this world, everyone is a weirdo.
Yeah.
The world is populated by nothing but weirdos.
Although, Zeke, you're welcome to take offense when you hear Ramone just say, like, oh, weirdo number 1, got it. And you're like,
No, he's not offended, that's fair.
Yeah.
Remember, I fit in by not fitting in.
Yep.
Yeah, she probably opens the door a bit more and just sits on the edge and like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. So a bunch more people exploded. But I was standing there in the alleyway and we defended you. We drove them back. We drove the hordes back.
Oh, Ramone did see how many there were, yeah. Like,
how many what?
How many protesters there were? It's like the hordes. It's like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Thank you for that. And oh my God, what? Do you have any? What the fuck is happening? I expected the protesters. That's normal, but
well,
exploding.
The campus is in lockdown right now. There must be like a super duper emergency. Something even exploded. I don't know what it was. I wasn't able to see behind us, but
oh, bloody hell! I don't have words. This was supposed to be a one-off gig, that like last minute thing.
I wish there was a way that I could help out more. I can't even invite you back to my dorm. It's locked down.
No, I'm good with the van. Yeah.
You know that you know that a lot of people, I think, are going to suspect you for doing this.
No shit. Oh, I can tell you, I didn't.
I believe you.
I know, you've been in millions. I know.
Millions? He asks almost like offended, like he missed something, or that there's more than more than him.
You're a good kid. Yeah, I'm just shaking. Don't mind me. I'm just.
Okay,
We
well.
should get somewhere safe. I mean, like, heads exploding. Now there's an explosion. That's a hard.
Zeke, are you still staying hidden for this interaction?
Yeah, I'm staying mostly hidden, but I'm kind of moving away
Okay.
as stealthily as I can, because I have in the back of my mind that I might want to go and check out the explosion instead of just this conversation. But since I got distance vision and distance hearing, I can probably eavesdrop. I won't. That's as far away as I want to go. Far away where I can still eavesdrop.
Sure.
And still watch, and then vanish into the night if I need to go look at the explosion, because I am curious about that as well. I feel like that's something that would tie into all this, and once I start to realize that this is a pretty mundane conversation, like there's not going to be any like, oh, did you deliver the goods, and did you whatever. If they're talking in code, it's a really good code, and I don't think Steve is smart enough for that code.
All right. So You want to be as far away as possible to eavesdrop, but head back, at least face the direction of the club.
Yeah, I'm going to move towards it as much as I can, staying hidden, and then if at some point I will get bored of this conversation and decide that nothing interesting is coming out of it, and that's when I'll head out and go towards the explosion.
Okay. Let's go back, and what we'll do is we'll go back to the outside of the club here, of the Cascaded Lass. And in this moment, we have Benji helping people, approached by Rock, and is being followed by Ian. If you have a summary of what you want to talk about, you want to have a quick exchange back and forth, but we have your characters encountering each other.
So, after getting off the phone with the boys, I feel pretty confident with the lockdown going on that I don't need to go back in the club. So I decide I want to do kind of a perimeter check to check the other exits and stuff.
Okay.
And then I come across Benji, which I remember from inside the club.
Yep.
So I walk up and I'm like, sir, all bullshit aside, I know you're not a fan of law enforcement. We're not fans of each other, but this is much bigger. What's going on right now? Do you have any fucking idea what is going on here?
Your guess is as good as mine. Security? NCPD? Who are you?
I work part-time. Mostly just do my own thing now.
Alright.
From what I can gather, it seems like it was something, since it started inside and I followed it outside, it's something that started with something that was in the club and kind of moved with it. I am responsible for Ramone, and I really need to, I have some questions for Ramone.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm going to assume that since you're helping people, you probably had nothing to do with this. I don't want to profile or anything. So,
Thanks.
do you happen to know the direction that she went? I noticed your friend's not with you. Do they happen to know where she might have went? I feel like maybe since there's going to be a big police presence here, and again, you're not a fan of the police. Police aren't a fan of you, judging by how you look. Maybe if you kind of hang with us, I can kind of, since you're with me, I can kind of make movement smoother for you, possibly.
Vouch for me? Because I'm basically the best you're going to get until Trauma gets here. Let's be real. And he's fixing somebody up as you're talking.
So since you obviously know what you're doing here, I've noticed some strange new tech on the streets. I've been talking to my acquaintances about it. Have you noticed that most of the people that are afflicted with this, or the people that had fatalities from this, are sporting this new tech? Possibly it could be tied to that.
I hadn't had actually a good look at that. So I've been mostly concentrating on those who have not yet flatlined. But that's a good point. My suspicion is it's some kind of hack.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, my observation was it happened inside. I followed it to the front lobby where it hadn't happened until the group from in here went in the front lobby, and then it happened there.
What happened?
As they got closer to the front door, then it started happening on the outside. So I feel like it was something that originated inside and it's moved with that crowd of people.
Because let's be real, I was behind a curtain, and when I opened up that curtain, it looked like Maelstrom had fucked up a Tiger Claw's den. And, no gunshots. What the fuck happened on the dance floor?
As you say that, Benji, you are hearing gunshots, which would be from way over in this direction from where you're talking outside of the club. Like you're hearing distant gunshots. Pop, 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 pop.
the fuck is going on now?
And you don't need to
Speaking of
roll
that,
perception, but you can see that it looks like there might be campus security over in that direction, because you can see some flashing lights, in between some of the trees and hedges and everything. It sounds like there's something going on there. Now, Rock, you're getting a call in. Rock, check the skies. We're on our way. And you can hear the distinct police siren sound. It's different than the campus security sound, but you are seeing that there is actually an aerial vehicle that they've sent in. This is a quadcopter, but you're getting something that's a lot more than a quadcopter here. And this is your boys starting to come in. And there's they turn on the spotlight, and they're just sweeping outside in the dark here over all of the bodies and the people languishing and everything. And they begin to ask you for a sit rep. Like, what's going on? Is there still hovering here? You can even see so someone's piloting, and another person is a door opens on the side and is sort of looking out the side here. Now, while you're doing that and you're giving them the situation, Benji, sirens that you hear from your field of expertise here as a med tech, you hear oncoming trauma team sirens, and that the trauma team is approaching from this direction, though way over to the side. As the trauma team is coming in low over where they're slowing down to where this gunfight is taking place. Again, you can't quite see. They're slowing down a bit, and the spotlights go on, because usually they'll drop people or they'll try and get as close as possible. But ultimately, this just happened. It's not really their main call. There's some spotlights or something that seems to happen. And then the trauma team starts wildly accelerating forward. This way. Towards the club.
Oh. Does it look like they've lost control of the vehicle?
Rock, that will be answered here in a moment. Rock, as you're having that conversation, one of your boys tells you something's going on, as they hover a little bit closer to try and get a better look at, and you hear them chattering over the radio. Trauma team, what's going on? Slow down. We have trauma team. And I need both Rock and Benji to roll evasion, as trauma team is coming in very, very fast and very out of control.
Ooh,
18.
that's nice.
A 16. Okay. Both of you are able to scramble out of the way as this trauma team comes in wild. The police aerial vehicle is somewhat able to get out of the way as it clips into the side of it, having the trauma team careen off of the police vehicle and slam into the facility here. Rock, the police vehicle does it hasn't been directly impacted, so it's doing more of a controlled spin, and it doesn't have too far to drop. So while you do hear the two guys in the aerial vehicle give out a scream, it lands in the grass and just sort of spins around a little bit before coming to a stop against another building. And you can hear both of them talking to each other over the radio. It sounds like they might be shaken up. Their vehicle's out, but they seem to be fine. Benji, you see just the trauma vehicle goes up. All of the fuel, any of the compressed gases, oxygen, all of that stuff that these ambulances carry. And on top of that, there's an additional thing to watch out for, because it's not just the explosion and the heat. When the cryo tanks rupture, there's also that to worry about too. So I need after the initial explosion, you're going through your mind like what just happened, and you can look over because Rock is either talking or distracted or something. You know that something is going to happen as the second wave. And so I need Benji, and you can call out to Rock as well. I need both of you to make another evasion, as there's not just an explosion of heat, but the containment for the cryo tanks rupture, and now just a wave of rolling liquid nitrogen rolls out of... whoa, nice. All right, well...
Yeah. I am definitely dragging Rock right along with me.
Yeah, wow. There's a green for Benji. Benji, you do not want to be caught in this. Otherwise, nope. I'm reminded of a scene from a person who thought that he was invincible and found out through liquid nitrogen that he's not. So,
yeah, basically grabbing Rock by the vest as I'm getting up from this reverse explosion to get us both the fuck out of range.
So yeah, Rock, like you're just like guys come in or whatever chatter. I don't want to put the words in your mouth because we can revisit this in the in next week's recap. Benji grabs you, like you're already like you look around, you're like, oh shit. But when you say oh shit and you're already starting to your muscle reflexes to go, you are accelerated even further as Benji grabs you and you dive out of the way of this rolling cloud of just super cold gas that rolls out of the trauma team that is now in need of trauma themselves. Well, actually, they're not. I guarantee you, no one on that ship no longer needs trauma team.
I'm pretty sure that we've had at least one cryo tank explode near where I used to work in the camp.
Yeah, it happens. You're told that in either the School of Hard Knocks or in actual medical school.
Yep, I've actually witnessed it. I'm self-taught.
And so what we're going to do, we are going to leave things here for this week. So Benji and Rock, you're still on the scene. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that couldn't move because they were already injured or something. They were caught in the initial explosion, let alone the secondary one. And obviously the trauma team vehicle is down. The police vehicle is not working, though the two officers are there. They're able to function as the officers, but they don't have a working vehicle. And meanwhile, back at the parking lot, we have Steve and Ramone in around the van.
Did Ian survive?
Yeah. Ian
okay.
did. I didn't roll, but I was more concerned about you two. Ian, yeah. Or even if like Rock rolled out of the way, I don't know, Benji, you could have grabbed Ian or something. However, whatever's most dramatic for you guys. And so yeah. Meanwhile, slightly across campus, though in the other direction, way over here, from the side of campus that the police had also arrived. We have Ramone, the van. We have Steve, and we have Zeke, who's not exactly halfway between the two, but is like edged away and is determining what's going on. Obviously, parking lot is slightly ahead of this event because this was the explosion that you heard behind you. You're a couple minutes ahead, but we'll do a catch up next week here in part 3 of this adventure. So thank you all very much. I hope that this has continued to excite you and also
I've
have you
enjoyed
clench
it.
up a bit.
Yep.
I'm not-
but clenching.
I'm not doing my job if I'm not.
I'm probably not going to be unclenched before next week. So,
You'll not be
yeah.
what?
She will not be unclenched before next
Oh,
week.
okay.
Both in character and out of character, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. You're getting your kegels in. So,
I'm fairly unclenched, aside from my brain injury. Things are going okay for me.
I do still intend to fix that.
You know, status, unclenched, vibing, staying in my lane. You know, it's.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how unclenched are you?
So what we're gonna do,
I'm
everyone?
unclenched, but I've played Maddie's games before.
Yeah, well. We are going to go into a raid, everyone. Thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed watching our Cyberpunk roleplay here. We're going to come back for part 3, the final part? Question mark? And
can I vote for having the mature tag on more often?
it felt nice to have nice to have a little bit more breathing room.
Yep. Love it. Love to see it.
Well, if you like this is, I guess, a good warm-up for when I do Alien, and Alien could be a good warm-up for when I run Vampire. If y'all, like, obviously I have Twitch TOS, but,
Yes.
no one, like, a lot of people have an inkling of what, other people like Derek can do in his stories. No one knows what I'm capable of doing in mine, so this is going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's go on a raid. Let's go raid, Voivode Kohotek, who is running his weekly D&D arena combat. So we all get to watch people fight monsters in an arena. I don't know what level they're at right now, but is that maybe level 9 is what they're at. So this could be a lot of fun. Looks like there's quite literally a swirling combat. There's a big whirlpool in the middle of the arena. Let's go find out what's happening over there, and if his players are surviving. I think I spelled his name correctly. Let's raid. Hey, okay, it did work. Come along, everyone. I'll see you over there. I'll be on Discord as well. Although, tomorrow starts the storytelling workshop part of Cyberpunk, where I'll be going into how can you create your own little Cyberpunk adventures and such too. We made our characters. We talked about the basics. Now let's bring it all together this week, Monday through Friday. See you in Voivode's Arena of Death, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.